Hey y'all, Hunter Elliott, rangehot.com. Hope you're doing well. You can see to my starboard is Chad. Chad is here to talk about a little ongoing project we've got with this 700 Remington VSF. Chad is going to bring, what are you bringing to the table,
Chad? As today's assistant.
Yeah.
Raw energy.
Raw energy. Okay, so when this is over, everybody that was witnessed the raw energy of Chad, please comment and tell me just how impressive it is, or not.
Probably can't even be measured.
Yeah, awesome. That's what I was thinking, Richter scale. Anyway, so you may recognize this. This is started out life as a Remington Model 700 VSF, chambered in 220 Swift. We've done a couple projects with this particular rifle already in its factory configuration. The first was how to correctly break in a match grade rifle barrel. After that, we did a full-on review of the rifle in its factory configurations. But since then, we have made some changes to the rifle, and we're going to talk about that. Before I get any further, it does have a detachable box magazine. It is empty. The bolt is to the rear. Chamber's empty, so we know this rifle is safe to talk about. The changes that were made from the factory configuration was we've added an aluminum MDT XRS chassis. This is all one-piece 6061 aircraft grade aluminum. And I've dropped in a Timney Elite Hunter 571 VZ trigger, straight trigger. So these are the two changes that was made. The first change was dropped it in this MDT XRS chassis, took it out, shot some groups at 100 and 500 yards, and then dropped in this Timmy Trigger, went out and reproduced that, and now we're going to talk about what we've learned. So you started out shooting this rifle when I pulled out of the box. We put this nice little pole scope on it. Tell me what are your thoughts initially from then to now, Chad?
The stock rifle was decent to shoot. It's a good rifle, but we got the chassis. We shot that. It made it considerably easier to shoot and
more comfortable.
More comfortable is a great characterization.
And that's not to interrupt you, but when you say more comfortable, people's probably going to wonder why. So let's touch on that real quick. It has an adjustable cheek piece here, y'all. So you got a couple little set screws here. You have all kind of adjustments. That's going to allow you to get that correct cheek weld, eye relief on your scope. Everybody shoots a rifle a little different, so having a configurable cheek piece, you know, you can set it up here everywhere you want it, lock her down, get it comfortable, get more consistent. As we know, consistency is accuracy. Another thing that's going to make this rifle a little bit more comfortable to shoot is it starts out, it's got about a 13-inch length of pull. However, MDT sends a total of 5 spacers. The butt pad, you don't even have to take it all the way off. It's 2 screws that come out. What was that term you used?
Twist and lock.
Twist and lock. You don't have to take it out. They twist and lock in, and then the spacers actually interlock between themselves. So they lock in the gun and lock to one another. With the supplied 5 spacers, you can go from about 13 inches to almost 15.5 inches length of pull. If you need more, you can always get more spacers. That does make a pretty good difference because it came from the factory with I think 3 spacers installed. I'm kind of short, so I dropped out 2 to 1 spacer. Made the rifle a whole lot more comfortable for me to shoot. The last part about this is configurable is the pistol grip area. They send you 2 different pistol grips from MDT. One is a little thinner and a little more straighter. This one's got a little bit more wide area here at the bottom, and it's a little bit of a different angle. And so if you've got large hands and you want to get a good grip, good wraparound grip on the pistol grip, you've got some different options on what you want to run on those. Those 3 configurable changes, once you get the rifle set up like you want, makes it infinitely more comfortable to shoot than the factory configuration, in my opinion.
Absolutely. When we shot this rifle this last time, which I'll probably be part of this video, this gets changed between the 2 of us.
It does.
This does not. We both have pretty short arms, but it's comfortable enough for us to hand it back and forth and use it.
And the only changes were
with chin pad. He puts it in the wrong place and I fix it.
Yeah, and then I put it back in the wrong place to shoot better than he does. Almost. Well, kind of. We'll talk about that in a minute.
But yeah, it's, as use one of Hunter's terms, infinitely more better to shoot.
Infinitely more better
with this
trademark.
with this chassis.
Why does it shoot better? Because of consistency. What is that going to mean downrange? Well, the factory stock adequate, but you know, the old school guys, they buy their nice target rifle. The first thing they do is free float the barrel, and then they glass bed the stock. Where with this being an all one piece aluminum, not to mention it's got some pretty cool M-lock slots here, so if you want to add or M-lock accessories, you're good to go. This whole part of the stock here, the action, sits in one piece of aluminum. So it has a lot more solid contact over like your pillar bedding or your glass bedding. And I know it's going to be at least equal to glass bedding, though it's far less messy and aggravating. But in my opinion, this will be a superior method of bedding and action over glass bedding or pillar bedding.
It eliminates the need to do that.
It does, and that's just technology, you know, catching up with the precision rifle.
Yeah, and there'll be some people that will stomp their feet and say you should do that's much better. But I mean, face it, you bolt it in.
Yeah, it's just
you get the same effect bolting it in.
You don't have to mess with that, you know, accurate glass or all that.
Yeah.
The cool thing too about this stock is it converts the rifle from an internal box magazine to an external box magazine. Removes 10 rounds, so you go from your internal box mag to an external, and this is what they call the AICS pattern magazine. When I talked to MDT about this XRS chassis, they're like, well, you know, it's configured for 308 or 223 Remington. Don't know how one of those magazines is going to work with 220 Swift. It actually worked pretty well. The first round was a little sticky when everything was brand new, but after we've got some rounds down range, I mean, this MDT magazines work great with the Swift. So I'm really happy how well this rifle is configured with this new chassis and trigger. We're going to talk about the trigger in a minute. Also, this chassis is large enough here at the fore end to accept up to 1 1/4 inch barrel. So you have no illusions. You don't have to do your dollar bill trick. This thing is 100% completely free floated all the way to the action where the bedding starts. Understand the action screws are captured. So when you take it off, you turn the stock over, whatever, you don't have to worry about losing the action screws. They're captured here. You just put them in, torque them down like you want. They're good to go. All that said, when we first put on the MDT XRS chassis, took it out to 100 and 500 yards, and I had a notable increase in accuracy. It was a consistent half MOA gun most of the time, 3/4 MOA gun in its factory configuration, depending on I don't know, me, the wind, whatever. However, the last time we went and shot it with just a chassis, it was a consistent half MOA or maybe just a little under. So we were able to easily, consistently get half MOA with this rifle. In the factory configuration, it was half MOA here and there. So it got a lot more consistent and a lot more accurate over Hornady, Winchester, and Remington factory ammunition. After that, the next step was this Timmy Trigger. Now, we go from the factory Remington trigger breaking out, if memory serves, it was like 5.5 pounds.
Yeah.
Had some take up, had some creep. It was a decent trigger, y'all. But Chad, I'm gonna let you tell them about this Timmy Trigger, because when I put it in, and I'm like, hey man, here you go, let's try it out. It's a new trigger. It measures just under 2 pounds on my Lyman gauge with 0 take up and 0 over travel.
You never mentioned 0 take up when I tried it.
I just said it was a really nice trigger. Check it out.
It's surprising. The first time I shot it on the bench with the trigger in it, it's surprisingly light. I don't have a lot of experience with a light trigger like this, and it is very surprising when it goes off.
I love it.
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't fine.
Oh
it's
yeah,
great.
I love it, and I loved your reaction.
Yeah,
wow.
And that first shot and second shot in that 3-shot group were awesome.
Doing really well.
Yeah, I think somebody did something to affect my third shot.
You got cocky.
But it was almost impressive.
It was
like that close to being impressive.
Yeah, I caught a fish this far from shore, y'all.
You could see the hole, the third one.
I don't know what happened to that target.
Moved. Wind.
It was probably the wind.
Yeah, sorry.
What did the trigger do? Dropping this Timmy Trigger. It allowed me to be more consistent. So with the factory trigger, with some take up and some creep, you know, it's still a good trigger, but putting in a nice, crisp, light trigger like that allowed me to exploit the potential accuracy far better with this factory chassis here, the MDT chassis.
It makes your shooting action more fluid.
I agree with that. It cuts down on your lock time.
Yeah.
Cuts down on how much pressure you got to pull on it. It gives you less time to screw up, I reckon. So, you know, adding a chassis like this improves accuracy, and adding a nice trigger actually helps you exploit that accuracy better. I've always told, if you've got a rifle that's a shooter, after you get some sights on it and optics, the very first thing you want to do to make that rifle shoot better is a nice chassis. The very next thing you want to do to exploit that is add a nice trigger. And so that's what we've done, and it has certainly been the recipe for success on this rifle, showing a great increase in accuracy and consistency. Now, part 4 of this is going to be, we're going to start hand loading. I got a set of Hornady dies in 220 Swift, and I got a couple different bullet weights from Sierra, and some powder recommendations from old school 220 Swift varminers. And we're going to start the process of developing a load. Powder charge, what powder, case overall length, all that stuff takes a lot of time. And I'm a pretty competent hand loader. I've shot with guys that are for real bench rest shooters, and they've showed me a lot of tricks. So this is not going to be factory reproduced hand loads. This is going to be real tailored hand loads for this rifle. It being a consistent this is being a consistent half MOA gun now, I believe there's still a little bit room for improvement, and I think it's gonna, to get that next step, it's gonna take some hand loads. Past that, I don't know, y'all, but I'll be honest with you, the chassis, it certainly did improve the looks of the rifle, but it improved the accuracy better.
I would say my accuracy improved just from the chassis. I am not a fantastic rifle shot. Your opinion varies on that?
Yeah, something along those lines.
You know, if you had a rifle you liked and you weren't quite getting the result, and 9 times out of 10 it's operator valve, this would be a slight adjustment on that to help you.
Agreed on that.
There's more weight to it. There is...
yeah, the factory chassis, this MDT XRS comes in at just under 4 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know, it's really different. It's not, you would think just bolting a chassis on it would not be that big a deal, but it changes the gun.
It really does.
100% in a different direction.
In a better direction.
Yes. Well, I didn't say it was a bad direction.
Right. I'm just, you know, with the YouTube commandos, some of them you gotta really point out what you mean.
Yes. It's in a different direction. It's more better.
Way more good.
Yes, way more gooder than factory. You know, like I said, and besides that, it looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, it's more pleasing. You know, we took it out to the range. Everybody wanted to look at it. We got a couple people out there that wanted to shoot it. Everybody was pretty impressed with how the rifle runs. So now, you know, horsepower is expensive. So, you know, factory MSRP on this is $500 for the chassis. Street price is going to be better than that. The MSRP on this Timney Elite Hunter trigger is about $145. Still, street price is going to be better than that. But we've done MSRP, we've done about $650 worth of upgrades on the rifle. In my opinion, those are all very well worth it, and have certainly brought out a lot more potential from the, you know, legendary Remington model 700 action. And fine rifle, and the legendary 220 Swift. Hashtag long live the 220 Swift, y'all. So, I mean, that's about all I got. I'm very pleased with it. MDT has a flawless reputation of building nice chassis. The XRS is one of their newer introductions, and it's more of a traditional looking stock than some of the crazy stuff they do. This is more traditional as far as aesthetics, which I like. Sports shooter, if you're out hunting and you know you want to keep it, you just don't want to go crazy with your rifle, the XRS is certainly an excellent option. And then, of course, I mean, what do we need to say about Timmy Triggers? They're the industry standard when it comes to triggers, and this being a 100% drop-in trigger with the safety, I mean, it was so easy, even Hunter could do it.
Yeah, he didn't even like help, which is amazing.
Amazing. It's not like when we did the CZ SP01 Tactical, and we put in a whole bunch of those Cajun Gunworks parts.
Where you broke all those punches.
We're not going to talk about that. When Chad, I will tell you this, and I'm getting off topic, but we had a CZ SP01 Tactical, and we got a whole big bag of beautiful Cajun Gunworks parts, which we got them all in. We did the review. It was wonderful. For Christmas that year, Chad gave me a whole brand new punch set.
It's a nice punch set.
It was. Is it because I broke the punches? He broke my punches.
You gotta have nice tools to work on things.
Okay. So I'm just saying that this is almost marine proof.
You don't need any of those tools for this.
Yeah, just need an Allen screw and you're good to go. So we've got this done, y'all. I'm gonna wrap it up. There ain't a whole lot more I can say about it other than, you know, excellent chassis, excellent trigger. We got a little bit more to go. Excellent rifle. The Remington 700 action it's an industry standard. So anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe. I'm going to link the article that we did from beginning to end in the description below. If you've got any questions or comments, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter. Reach out to me, let me know what you think, good, bad, right, or wrong. I like constructive criticism. Continue to make the articles and videos better for Range Hot.
How's your energy level?
I'm getting tired.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm glad yours is here. So don't forget, everybody, comment on how great his energy was, or don't. I don't care. And
when you wake up.
Yeah. So that's all I got. So I want y'all to take care of yourselves and each other, and I look forward to seeing you at the range.